here's Brody Brazil.
You know, they say location is everything, but in terms of the best placed arenas in the United States, a lot of big cities can lay claim to what they have going. I feel like Nashville is right in that conversation with any other city. It's got a really good spot right on Broadway, bars and restaurants. It's almost like that entertainment district that every arena operator wants. It already existed, and then they built Bridgestone Arena right in that district. Well, the building is now 30 years old approximately, and they're considering new life for it. Obviously, you can kind of see that distinct roof line that already exists in the background, but what about all that build up in front? They're talking about doing some pretty big scale renovations on this building to give it a facelift, to give it some new bones on the inside, some new life in Nashville for Bridgestone Arena to the tune of about $650 million. How are they doing this? How is this going to work maybe better than some other cities? And what about baseball? Like, didn't the mayor of Nashville recently say that there's no more public money for Major League Baseball to come to Nashville? So why is this getting approved? More on that in just a second. Bridgestone Arena opened in December of 96. The Preds started playing there in 1998. They are the main tenant. This building seats anywhere from 17,000 for hockey to about 19,000 for basketball and concerts. Cost only $144 million to build. I say only because wait until you see how much money they're going to pump into it here. I already said 650. So cost 144 to build, and now they're putting in another 650 million into it in 2026 and beyond. It already has had upgrades in 2007, 2011, and 2015, so it's not totally out of touch. They say it does need some work to compete with other arenas in the southeastern quadrant of the United States. But this building is busy. It ranks 11th in arenas across the United States in gross revenues, and you can obviously tie that back to how many nights this building is in use for Preds games, for other events, for concerts. You name it, it's a pretty lucrative building, and so that's why they want to kind of double down. It's serviceable, it's in a great location, it's busy, so why not give it a little bit more fuel for the fire? So the new plan goes like this: a $650 million budget to upgrade the arena. The prep work would begin in 2026, and then summer work in 27, 28, and 29, so opposite of the hockey season schedule. They don't want to interrupt the hockey season at all, so they'd have these windows of opportunity, whether the Preds make the playoffs or not. Could be a long window, could be a short window, but the work would ultimately be complete by 2030. What are they doing at the arena? We haven't really talked about that. 175,000 square foot expansion. It would add 700 seats. I think they're also going to dig down a little bit and build some new dressing room and locker room type areas for performers and concert attendees, I suppose. They're just going to give it a lot more space down below, not only on the concourse level, not only adding a rooftop bar, but also on the event level as well. All of this is going to be funded by ticket sales and sales taxes inside the arena. And to my understanding, Bridgestone Arena is publicly owned, and this is how it's always been maintained. It was paid through bonds and other measures 30 years ago, but the maintenance that's come to it has been paid by these ticket sales and sales taxes. So they're not really adding anything new or changing anything. To my understanding, the 650 is coming from what's already been collected as it's always been collected over the span of 30 years. And more on that in a second, and how that might just make sense. They're not asking the city or the state for any additional funds from what I can understand here. All of this is kind of loosely delivered without all the details in the weeds. So from what I interpret, they're not making an ask. They're just going to funnel this money in a different direction to pay for some upgrades over the next handful of years. The 300 level gets an added bar, which will be the largest rooftop on Broadway. That's a popular thing, right? Every good restaurant and establishment wants a rooftop bar. Theirs is going to be 60,000 square feet. So that's going to be the king of rooftops on Broadway. The main entrance is going to change from where it currently is to more of a different spot because they want to build restaurants and shops, as you saw from that one rendering right there on the corner. The 20-story tower, tongue twister, is going to be built and planned. They don't know exactly what's going to go in that 20-story tower. You'll see it in the back of the rendering in just a second. But they know pretty much for sure that they want to have hotel rooms be a part of that project. Sean Henry is the Predators CEO. Sean has, says, no one ever thought this would be the busiest building in the world when it was built. Is it the busiest? We said it has high revenue. I don't know. It's among the busiest. Then it became an exercise in, can we do this? Can this be the most modern building in America, serving the best fans in America through the next 30, 40, 50 years? And it turns out it can. It's really exciting to be able to do that and benefit the city's general fund and not draw off it, right? So the building continues. The building gets to be successful for another 30 years. The Preds back in 2019 signed a 30-year lease. That takes them through 2049. So we're here in 2025. They want to make sure that the building that's already got 30 years under its belt can survive the next 30 years by doing this here and now. A new arena, if you think about $650 million, is a lot. A new arena in total might have been more cost-effective. Build something new, but the location and the vibe that's here at Bridgestone Arena are irreplaceable. And for that, somebody who covers a lot of stadium deals and arena deals here on this channel, I always hate when something is replaced and rebuilt almost just because. Like, ask the Texas Rangers how many ballparks they've gone through. Ask Atlanta how many times their baseball team has built a new stadium. It is pretty amazing how we just kind of discard and replace. The Cleveland Browns, for example, built a brand new stadium in the late 90s. Now they're already trying to build a brand new one. It's not even going to get to 27 years old maybe, and they need a new stadium. So I always enjoy when the location is appreciated, the building is appreciated, and they're doubling down on something they already have. It is probably more cost-effective, to be honest, to do this to the building rather than try something brand new. This upgrade also sets the table for WNBA expansion, although if you look at the WNBA schedule, they play in the summertime. So you'd have to think that maybe this is an after 2030 thing for the WNBA, because in the summer of 27, 28, and 29, they should be doing work on this building and probably not hosting WNBA events. But the point is, if you do this, you can add more locker rooms. You can make the facility more friendly to having multiple teams rather than just an NHL team and their visiting team. The arena is publicly owned and has been supported, like I said before, financially through tickets and taxes already. So there's nothing new here. And if a large part of it comes through ticket sales, that's great. This building is funding itself, and they're not going to the city. They're not going to the county and saying, hey, we need something extra. This is already, apparently, from what I can understand, taken care of. And yeah, the Preds are already in for 30 years, so they're not backing out. Everybody is signed and secured for a long-term deal here. So it seems good. Again, of all the arena deals and situations, and we don't know all the details. We literally have this one rendering to go on here and some kind of bare bones information to go on here. More to come, I suppose, on that. We'll keep an eye on this story. But initially, if it turns out to be what we expect it to be right here and right now, seems like a good idea, seems like a good plan for Nashville. Keep a busy building going, and best of luck to the Preds. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. And again, it's interesting, right? Because Nashville just got, it's under construction right now, a brand new home for the Tennessee Titans. That's a $2 billion publicly funded stadium. And then the mayor said, well, we don't have any money to give to a potential baseball team for their stadium. And then now this is getting taken care of with apparently money in a situation that's already in place. So it's kind of a weird situation in Nashville. What gets greenlit, what doesn't, and then what was pretty easy to figure out right here. Let me know what you think about all that in the comments section below. Thumbs up while you're down there. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. That way I can see you back here next time.